Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Technical advance. When we talk about an invention, the invention has to make a technical advance to the art. Now, this is one of the requirements under the Indian Act. An invention should be capable of showing some kind of a technical advancement over the existing knowledge. Now, it's not the entire invention that has to demonstrate this, but a feature of the invention. Now, let's understand what technical means. Technical, generally, the definition of the dictionary meaning means having special or usually practical knowledge, especially of a mechanical or scientific subject. So, scientific is regarded as technical. Technological means something that relates to or is characterized by technology. Now, when we talk about a technical advance, we are talking about an advancement that is technical in nature. Now, it could be a change, it could be a technical development, it could be a technical achievement or a technical progress. Now, this advance is in the overall process of invention, innovation, and diffusion of technology or processes. Now, in general, we understand technical advance as contributing to an invention or an innovation or a diffusion of technology or processes. But in the context of patent law, a technical advance pertains to an advancement in the existing knowledge. So when your invention is compared with the prior art, there is some kind of an advancement that is expected of your invention to show. Now, in patent parlance, that's in patent law, a technical advance refers to a technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge. Now, we'll come to the definition soon, but this is a requirement under patent law. Now, the reason we are describing this in some detail is for you to understand that in a patent specification, when you draft a claim, you have to demonstrate there is a feature in the invention which shows technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge. Now, there are certain best practices in doing that because sometimes a comparison with the prior art can be dangerous because it would look obvious in hindsight. So we will look at the safe practices or the best practices to be employed at a later stage. So an invention is itself defined as something that comprises of a technical advance. You may make an inventive step. If you make an inventive step, then there has to be either technical advance or economic significance. We'll come to the definitions in a moment. Now, invention is defined to mean a new product or a process involving an inventive step and capable of industrial application. So it has to be new. It can pertain to a product or a process. The second requirement, apart from it being new, is that it should involve an inventive step. The inventive step, in turn, is defined as a feature of an invention that involves technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge or having economic significance, or both. It could be the technical advance and economic significance, and that makes the invention, this and is important here, and that makes the invention not obvious to a person skilled in the art. The reason why we say the and here is important is because the technical advance is one requirement and economic significance is another requirement, and they can be either or both. Apart from these two requirements, there is the non-obviousness requirement. In other words, an invention should not be obvious to a person skilled in the art. Now, this part that you see used to be the part of what contained in the traditional definition. That is, before the Indian law was amended in 2005, that makes the invention not obvious to a person skilled in the art used to be the traditional definition. This two features, that is technical advancement and economic significance, were added later on. Now that has some implications in how you now would draft your patent, but nevertheless, inventive step should demonstrate in one way or the other a technical advancement if it cannot show that there is some kind of an economic significance. Now, the most important feature in this definition is the word feature itself, because what you would be doing when you demonstrate inventive step is to show that a feature of the invention has technical advance or economic significance and is not obvious to a person skilled in the art. So it is not the entire invention that has to be inventive, it is a feature of an invention. Now this becomes very important in drafting, because if there is an inventive feature, the way you draft that inventive feature is going to be important, because you are going to claim protection for that inventive feature and not for the other non-inventive features in your patent. So identifying the inventive feature will be critical for you to understand where that inventive feature will figure in the scheme of things when you draft your claim. Now, technical advancement of what? Now, it has to be a feature of an invention. That feature should involve an inventive step. That feature should be claimed in an invention. As I said, it's a principle in drafting that the feature that involves an inventive step should be claimed, and the claim of the patent should contain that feature. Now, certain things to note here are technical advance is demonstrated by showing progress, and inventive step should relate to a feature of an invention.